Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Today we will be doing Murder Jones, but it's Hunger Games with Louisiana in District 1, JMV in District 2, Tessa and Sin in District 3, Nori and Condor Man in District 4, Doll and Yeva in District 5. In District 6, we have Fat and Lizzie. In District 7, we have Rebecca and the Sentinel. In District 8, we have Alice and Bo. In District 9, we have Teacher and for some reason Eldritch J. In District 10, we have the Keybug Danielson and Dog and Vika are in District 11. Red Sentinel and for some reason Todd are in District 12. Anyway, that's it. Let's go! Eldritch J runs away from the cornucopia. Nori V and Keybug start fighting, but V runs away as Nori kills Keybug. Boom. Bad severely injures Tessa, puts her out of her misery. Well, that's one sin gone. Sin grabs a backpack, not realizing it's empty. Rebecca sets off an explosive off, killing Dino Sin. That's two sins dead. The cat rips a mace out of Lizzie's hand. Bo runs away from the cornucopia. Alice finds a canteen full of water. Todd and Doll for a bag. Todd gives up and retreats. Honestly, that's good for you, Todd. And runs away for the cornucopia. Uzi runs away for the cornucopia. Red Sentinel explodes because he stepped on a landmine. And Dog runs away from the cornucopia. Jay runs away from the cornucopia. Condor Man runs away from the cornucopia. Is everyone just... Oh, nope. You have to... Gotta try it, but everyone else basically ran away. Alice practices her archery. Jay forces Dog to kill V or Sin. She refuses, so Jay kills Prince. Uzi begs for Lizzie to kill her. She refuses, keeping Uzi alive. Eldritch Jay steals from Spad while he isn't looking. The Sentinel picks flowers. Bo tries to spear fish with a trident. Condorman receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, probably Doors. And these 5 hunt for other tributes. / Teacher, Yeva, and Todd and V hunt for other tributes. Rebecca split up to search for resources, and N-Dog eats toxic berries, meaning that he's dead. You've gotta be kidding me. Yeva sees the fire but stays hidden. Oh, probably it's Sentinel's fire. Sentinel cooks his food before putting his fire out. Sin, V, and N sleep in shifts. Eldritch J thinks about winning. Alice passes out from exhaustion. Rebecca questions her sanity. Good! Bo screams for help. Jay forces Spud to kill Lizzie Uzi. Refuses, so Jay kills him instead. Isn't that what happened earlier? Hold on, let me see. Yeah. It's the same thing, basically. Instead, this time it's just a fad. It's Jay killed Fad. Noi passes out from exhaustion. VCAT receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Ka, Dorman, and Teacher for a double suicide. It fails and they die. And Todd tries to treat his infection. Belle picks flowers. Todd receives fresh fruit from an unknown sponsor. I bet you it's Doors. VCAT sprains her ankle while running away from Nori. Yeva, J, and N hunt for other tributes. Uzi receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Bet it's not Doors. V, Lizzie, and Alice hunt for other tributes. Eldritch Dave receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. I don't know. Rebecca explores the arena. Sim constructs the shack and Sentinel fishes. Todd quiets calmly. Sin repeatedly stabs Yeva to death with a seized Sentinel. Vika and Alice sleep in shifts. Rebecca and Anne tell stories about themselves to each other. Bill questions his sanity. Understay receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Uzi stays awake all night. Lizzie questions her Sandy. Jay starts a fire. V stabs Nori while her back is turned. Lizzie goes hunting and steals from Eldritch J while she isn't looking. Rebecca tries to sleep for the entire day. You're not a cat. Sentinel picks flowers. Bo, Uzi, Todd, and Jay hunt for other tributes. Sinford hunts for other tributes. Alice tends to V's wounds. V-Cat tries to sleep for the entire day. Successful! Nori's dead. Let's see everyone's status. Jay has 2 kills. V has 1 kill. Sin has 1 kill. Nori used to have 1 kill. Thad used to have 1 kill. Rebecca has 1 kill, surprisingly. Oh wait, Jay's still alive. Crap. Oh, that might end bad. She's gonna make some people die. Sin destroys Alice's supplies while she's sleeping. Okay, now Sin is doing things Sin would do. Bo passes out from exhaustion. Jay climbs a tree to rest. Aldrich Jay receives a hatchet from a sponsor. Sentinel defeats N in a fight, but spares his life. V, Lizzie, and V Cat discuss the games of what might happen in the morning. Todd is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Uzi tries to sing herself to sleep, and Rebecca loses sight of where she is. Sentinel travels to higher ground, but receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Aldrich J practices her archery. V Cat camouflages herself in the bushes. Jay hunts for other tributes. Rebecca tries to sleep for the entire day. Alice runs from Sin. Rudy scares Lizzie off. Todd sprains his ankle while running from V, and N just dies from hunger. Ooh, we got an event! Fire spreads throughout the air. The fire catches up to Alice, killing her. Audrey falls to the ground, but kicks Rebecca hard enough to then push her into the fire. Sin kills Uzi to utilize a body of water safely. V kills V Cat. Do water safely. Jay just survives. Todd falls to the ground, but kicks Lizzie hard enough and then pushes her into the lava. Sentinel survives. A fireball strikes Bo, killing him. I quite honestly cannot believe anything that just happened. Let's see what happens next. Right. 7 cannon shots. Boop, 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 boop. Todd, Sin, Jay, and Eldritch Jay kill each other. Ghost Sly in the mood. Because it never existed. V receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, and Sentinel loses his sight of where he is. The feast. Jay decides not to go to the feast. Sin kills Sentinel with his own weapon. Sin kills Sentinel with his own weapon. Todd decides not to go to the feast. V takes a staff leaning against the cornucopia. Eldritch J falls into a pit and dies. J receives explosives from sponsor. V receives free food from an unknown sponsor. And Sin sprains her ankle while running away from Todd. How is Todd still alive? Wow. Let's see everyone's status. Jay still has 2 kills. V has 2 kills. Sin has 3 kills. Nori used to have kill. Thad used to have 1 kill. Rebecca used to have 1 kill. Eldritch Jay used to have 1 kill. And Todd has 1 kill. Sin looks in the night sky. Todd receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Most likely a horse. Jay cries herself to sleep. V is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Sin tends to Jay's wound. Todd makes a slingshot and V discovers a cave. Sin and Todd. Jay is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. V is a tree to rest. Todd collects fruit from a tree. Jay stalks in, and V dies from falling from a tree. Sin's able to start, and oh my god. Jay begs for Sin to kill her. She reluctantly just killing Todd cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Two cannon shots can be heard in the distance. The winner is Sin from District Free. Sin won. Woo! Let's see how many. Okay, let's see. Placement. Sin won with 4 kills. Todd has 1 kill. Jay has 2 kills. V has 2 kills. Yeah, you get it. The 2 Sins died. Right there. Anyway, yeah. We continue to simulate again. Let's see if any of these dudes bugged out. None of them bugged out, so we're gonna continue. Okay, we don't care. And dog grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Lizzie runs away from the cornucopia. Dinosaur Sin runs away from the cornucopia. Sin snatches a pair of scissors. Fad patches his face. Keybug runs away from the cornucopia. Bug runs away from the cornucopia. Us, Izzy, and Doll get into a fight. Us, traveling, kills them both. Doll, you gotta stop dying like that. VCat runs away from the cornucopia. Eldritch J runs away from the cornucopia. Tessa and Teacher fight for a bag. Teacher gives up and retreats. Nora takes a spear inside the cornucopia. Jay rips a mace out of Yeva's hands. Red Sentinel, Rebecca, V, and Todd share everything gathered before running. Sentinel runs away from the cornucopia. Condorman runs away from the cornucopia. And so does Zen. Tessa, Sin, and Sentinel hunt for other tributes. VCat receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Bo injures himself while Alice fishes. Keybug collects fruit from a tree. Jay scares Eldritch J off. Teacher travels to higher ground. Eva and Rebecca split up to search for resources and tries to sleep for the entire day. Todd receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Condorman and Nolan track down and kill the Red Sentinel. Hey, at least they're getting along again. V searches for firewood. N-Dog attacks Dino Sin, but she manages to escape. Fad fishes and Lizzie thinks about home. Boom, boom, boom. Eldritch J tends to her wounds. Dino Sin begs for Noi to kill her. She refuses, keeping Dino Sin alive. Teacher tries to treat his infection. V is awoken by nightmares. Yeva looks at the night sky. Sentinel receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Alice sets up camp for the night. Keybug fends off Rebecca, Condorman, and Fat away from his fire. Lizzie lets Bo into her shelter. Tessa, for some reason, dies of dysentery. This is the Tess. This is like the skin Tessa, like the Sin. Like this is Tessa after she was killed by Sin. So I don't know how that happened. Jay tries to treat her infection. Todd sets up camp for the night. VCat tends to her wounds and thinks about winning. And Dog tends to his wounds. And Sin tries to treat her infection. Bo receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Downspin tries to spear with a trident. Fad, Eldritch J, Condorman, and Sin hunt for other tributes, while Teacher makes a wooden spear. Jay receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Lizzie hunts for other tributes. Kiba cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. How do you do that? Sentinel thinks about home. Nori searches for a water source. VCat tries to sleep throughout the entire day. V and Alice work together for the day. Yeva, Todd, and Rebecca track down and kill N-Dog. You gotta be kidding me. Bo sets up camp for the night. Yeva quietly hums. Dino Sin is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Noise sets off an explosion, killing Teacher. Sin thinks about home. V and Fad talk about the tributes still alive. VCat, Alice, and Sentinel and Jay sleep in shifts. Alice Jay attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Rebecca tries to sing herself to sleep. Todd passes out from exhaustion. Condor receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor, and Lizzie receives the same thing but it's medical supplies. So it's not the same thing. Rebecca tries to sleep throughout the entire day. Jay scares Condorman off. Lizzie injures herself while Fat hunts for other tributes. Well, how does that happen? V collects fruit from a tree. Todd steals from Lori while she isn't looking. Well, that just happened. Right away. Bo, Eldritch Stray, and Alice hunt for other tributes. And the tree of to kill him. She refuses, keeping it alive. Sentinel receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sin injures herself. Dennison tries to sleep throughout the entire day. VCat questions her sanity. VCat is awoken by nightmares. Sentinel sees a fire but stays hidden. Todd, Danielson, and Eldritch Stray sleep in shifts. Alice thinks about home. Sin screams for help. Lizzie tries to sing herself for sleep. Fat and Nori run into each other, deciding to choose for them. Condor Man receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Rebecca climbs the tree to rest. V destroys Jay's supplies while she's asleep. Yeva sees a fire but stays hidden. And Bo sets up camp for the night. Yeva collects fruit from a tree. Fat, Dennison, and Todd hunt for other tributes and stalks Nori. Alice makes a slingshot. VCat discovers a cave. Rebecca throws a knife into Bo's chest. V injures herself. Since Sentinel split up to find resources, Jay receives fresh, clean water from an unknown sponsor. Eldritch Jay hunts for other tributes, while Lizzie questions her sanity. And Condorman dies from hypothermia. Hold on, you gotta see it again. Yeah, hypothermia. Eldritch Jay accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. Rebecca begs for Nori to kill her. She walking the bride is killing Rebecca. Sentinel thinks about winning. V and Fad cheerfully sing songs to each other. Jay climbs a tree. Dino, Sin, and V, Cat, and Todd tell ghost stories to each other to lighten the mood. Yeva, Lizzie, and Alice cheerfully sing songs to each other. Dino Sin travels to higher ground. V tries to spearfish with a trident. Alice runs away from Yeva. Lizzie, Sentinel, and Fat and Jay hunt for other tributes. VCat begs for Nori to kill her. She reluctantly obliges, killing VCat. And Sin chases Todd. And Lizzie and Sin start fighting, but Lizzie runs away as N kills Sin. And why would he do that? No! Sin tries to sleep, but Dino-Sin dies from an infection. The Sins are down. V poisons Drink, but mistakes it for a run and dies. If it severely slices Nori with a sword, what do you mean? Fab receives a hatchet from a sponsor, Todd. Before putting his fire out, Alice receives clean water from a sponsor. Alice decides not to go to the feast. Yava shoots an arrow at top of misses and kills Sentinel instead. Fab decides not to go to the feast and decides not to go to the feast. Lizzie decides not to go to the feast and Jay decides not to go to the feast. Fat fishes and Lizzie, Todd, Yeva, and Jay hunt for other tributes while Alice questions her sanity and the two sins die. Fortunately, let's see everyone's status. Ed has 2 kills. Nora used to have 1 kill. Condorman used to have 1 kill. Yeva has 3 kills. Rebecca used to have 2 kills. Alice has 2 kills. And Todd, for some reason still alive, has 1 kill. Fat receives an explosive so Alice, Jay, Lizzie, Todd, and Yeva track down and kill End. That's what he deserves. Alice begs for to kill her. He refuses, keeping Alice alive. Yeva stalks Fad. Jay diverts Lizzie's attention and runs away. One cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Alice ambushes Fad and kills him. Lizzie cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Yeva severely injures Todd, leaving him to die, while Jay dies trying to escape the arena. Yeva severely severely injures Alice, but puts her out of her misery. And that means Yeva won. Let's go! That's the one I was betting on. And yeah. You can seal this. Just take a moment to read it. Just pause it here. Okay, bye. Blah 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 blee blee blee. One more round. Go! Uzi and J blah. Oh wait. It severely injures Lizzie and leaves her to die. V runs away from the cornucopia. Eldritch J rips a mace out of Yeva's hand. Uzi runs away from the cornucopia. Sin runs away from the cornucopia. Teacher, Condorman, Tessa, and Tessa runs away from the cornucopia. And Doc snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. What are you gonna do with that? Bo runs away from the cornucopia. Doll runs away from the cornucopia. Jay runs away from the cornucopia. Nori clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Alice runs away from the cornucopia. You know what? All of these people right here ran away from the cornucopia, including VCat. Keebug stays at the cornucopia for resources. Sentinel takes a spear from inside the cornucopia, and Todd runs away from the cornucopia. Sin, Dino Sin, Uzi, VCat, and Teacher track down and kill V. Doll sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. First smart thing you've ever done, Doll. Tessa and Sin work together for today. Sentinel tries to spearfish with a trident while Eva does the same thing. Alice is pricked by thorns while picking berries and discovers a river. Condorman overhears Todd and N-Dog talking in the distance. Rebecca searches for a water source. Eldritch J steals from Jay while she isn't looking. The Jayception! Fad begs for Keebug to kill him. He refuses, keeping Fad alive. Nori diverts Red Sentinel's attention and runs away, while Bo explores the arena. Uzi sees the fire but stays hidden. VCat questions her sanity. Alice strangles Jay with a rope. And Doll talks about the tributes to alive. Condorman is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Keebug tends to Sin's wounds. Sentinel defeats Bo in the fight, but spares his life. That's not what happened. Nori and Yeva sleep in shifts. Todd tends to his wounds. Rebecca sets off an explosion, killing Sin. Stop! Fad thinks about winning. Red Sentinel receives supplies from an unknown sponsor. And Eldritch J convinces Tesla to. Why? N-Dog sets up camp for the night, while Teacher loses sight of where he is. Sentinel collects fruit from a tree. N-Dog searches for a water source. Red Sentinel practices his archery. Yeva sets off an explosion. Todd. Uzi collects fruit from a tree. Tessa, Keebug, Dino Sin, and Alice form a suicide pact, killing themselves. Why are the two suicide pacts? We just lost 8 in a row. Oh my god, that's 8 gone. 8 gone. Think about that. 8. 8 gone. Yes. Doll might win. Everyone before Rebecca basically did a suicide pact. N-Dog and Condorman talk about the tribute still alive. Yeva, Red Sentinel, and Eldritch J sleep in shifts. Teacher receives explosive from an sponsor. Doll receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor, and while the Sentinel destroys Uzi's supplies while she's asleep, Red Sentinel constructs a shack. Yeva collects fruit from a tree and tries to spear the trident. Condorman searches for a water source. Sentinel and Uzi hunts for other tributes. Teachers pick by thorns while picking berries. Aldrich J tries to sleep for the entire day, and Doc sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Doll receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Aldrich J severely slices Condor Man with a sword and convinces Red Sentinel to snuggle with him. Sentinel and Uzi run into each other and decide to choose for the night. And finally, the first ever person to actually sleep normally is Doll. Congratulations! You are the first person to actually sleep normally. Yeva destroys teacher's supplies while he's asleep. And Dog dies trying to escape the arena. Teacher severely slices Yeva with a sword. Sentinel decides not to go to the feast and decides not to go to the feast. Eldritch J decides not to go through the feast. Uzi and Dolph get into a fight for raw meat, but Uzi gives up and runs away. Red Sentinel decides not to go to the feast. Red Sentinel strangles Uzi after engaging in a fist fight, and then teachers split up for resources. Eldritch J tends to Sentinel's wounds, and Doll somehow falls into a frozen lake and drowns. But how does Doll drown if it's frozen? We will never know. So now I got a bet on someone, and it's not gonna be teacher. Teacher receives Shroom from a known sponsor. I'm gonna bet on N. Sentinel and N run into each other, and decide to truce for the night. Red Sentinel loses sight of where he is, while Jay tries to sing herself to sleep. Red Sentinel chases teacher. Sentinel catches N off guard and kills him. And while Eldritch J fishes. Now I'm betting on Eldritch J. Sentinel sets teacher on fire with a Molotov. Red Sentinel looks at the night sky while Jay receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Sentinel likes a slingshot shot. Sentinel tries to spear fish with a trident while Eldritch J searches for firewood. Red Sentinel and Eldritch J run into each other and decide to truce for the night while Sentinel cries herself to sleep. Eldritch J tends to Sentinel rooms while Sentinel hunts for other tributes. Sentinel ambushes J. Well, it was Sentinel who won because Red Sentinel just ate toxic berries, so it's the winner is Sentinel from District 3. Woo! That was one of a doozy. So, yeah, that's it. That's all that happened. Bye.